Welcome back to Up the Villa podcast. Drop the channel a sub if you know. Comment your thoughts down below and drop the video a like as well. Let's have a like target. We haven't done this for a while. Being as we won big, everybody's buzzing. 500. Let's go 500 likes. Let's see if we can get 500 likes on this video. Absolutely loving Villa at the minute. The highlight reels I'm watching, the positivity in the fan base, just absolutely love it. Like if you could literally just go to the doctors and inject it and have it pumped in you forever, that's what I'd do. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. So you all heard my thoughts yesterday. So Justin will have your thoughts. Take it away.
Well, I've had 24 hours to digest it, so I'm probably a lot calmer than I would have been if I'd have jumped on straight after the game last night. But I have to say, it was incredible, to be honest. I know Chelsea had a lot of chances, and they weren't terrible on another day. Could have been different, but we are a totally different animal now, aren't we? We are such an entertaining, competitive, really, really good Premier League team now, and that's all happened in 3-4 months, which with the same team, more or less players that we started this season with, to be where we are now, it's incredible. I mean, it was a really good game of football, I felt, as well, against two teams who were pretty well matched, to be honest. I think, they've got a lot of good players. We've got a lot of good players in a lot of good form. Their players probably aren't in as good form, but I thought we were really good. I think we covered it in the pre-match and the predicted lineup that we've got 6 or 7 players that are in really good form at the moment, and that generally equates to you're going to be competitive and win a lot of games, and that's exactly what's happening. I think I said to one of you in the group chat earlier that we feel a lot like the Newcastle at the start of the season when they had a lot of players in good form and they just looked incredible. And we've hit that purple patch now of just the sweet spot of everybody contributing really well to every single game. I think, I could just go for every player, so it's pointless doing that, but every single one of them was brilliant. Moreno was great. Ashley Young slotted in like we thought he would, almost seamlessly. The 2 centre-halves were brilliant. Martinez made some good saves. Kamara, shame he had to come off at half-time, but even that didn't derail us, did it? The start of that second half, I was thinking, oh, God, they started to come on a bit strong, but he took Callum Chambers on, he tweaked the system a little bit. They played, very much like a 5, but then Ashley Young bombed forward when we got on the break. Incredible. John McGinn just gets better and better week on week. Yesterday was, I think, the first time, and I hope I'm not being harsh on him, but when he got given the captain's armband, it was under Gerrard and he lost his form, and I think it weighed heavily on him. And I think because of the way it happened with Mings, people were looking at McGinn as a bit of a scapegoat. Oh, he's took it off Mings. Yesterday, I felt he was a proper leader captain. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It felt like he owned that armband. He was the captain. He's the one that was going to drive us forward. It's the sort of performance you want from your captain. And I understand why managers give it to centre midfielders, because you're involved in everything. I think Mings was a great captain. I still think he would be a good captain.
You know what I think why that is? Because I'm sure it was McGinn speaking after the game, and I think although they know their roles and what they're meant to be doing, so positionally, tactically, they're completely aware of what their role is. But yeah, I think they're still playing with freedom and sort of like there's no pressure weighing them down. I think what we've had for years and years is because there's an expectancy and we might not be tactically great, so certain players have to take that burden upon themselves. Yeah. I don't think that's the case anymore. And I heard McGinn as well speaking after the game, and he was saying about like, that the person behind you is going to be doing their job, so you don't have to worry about them. And that also takes away pressure, because if you're just literally focusing on what you have to do, and you're not worried about, oh shit, if I go forward, is he going to cover me or what? Because they don't have that. I think all of them now are just playing without any pressure. And I think that is what's going to help us in this running now, in this next 10 games, because there is no pressure, because we just keep doing what we're doing because we know we're good. So I think that's...
It's a collect. You've nailed it on the head there. It's a collective effort, isn't it? It's a group. You know, the whole is more important than the sum of its parts, if you like. So every single player knows what they're doing. Every single player is comfortable. They're not being asked to do anything they can't do. The manager obviously has them in one-on-ones and chats to them. You know, we saw this with the Watkins interview he did for I think it was Soccer AM, which was really great to hear that he sat down with Emery, and Emery said, I don't want you doing that. I don't want you doing that. I want you doing this, you know, and this is how we're going to get the best out of you. He's like he does with every single aspect, you know, that fantastic picture of him on the team bus. You know, we're on our way back from a stunning 2-0 away win at the Capital, where most managers would be having a drink, relaxing, winding down, thinking, okay, let's have the night off, let's just enjoy this win, and we'll get back on it on Monday morning, ready for the... No chance. He's got that laptop on, and he's analysing that game immediately, because what he wants to come in Sunday morning, he wants to get them all round, and he wants to go through every single second of that game, telling them just exactly what they got right and what they got wrong. Because, as I said, it wasn't a perfect performance. It was a fantastic result, but there were things that they did wrong. We got away with a couple of little moments, you know, the little slip through ball to the Mudryk. If he was at half decent, you know, he could have scored a couple on Saturday, and he will know this. And this is what it's so great to have a manager that will pick up on all that. Yes, he'll pat them on the back. Yes, he'll tell them they did really well, but he'll be ripping those moments to shreds, because what he wants to happen is he wants those moments to disappear from our game. And it's just great.
And you know, what we're saying is literally true, because we said this after, I think it was Bournemouth, and must have been Bournemouth, after Bournemouth, when Kamara was out, and we were all like, oh my God, Kamara's out, one of our best players this season. No bother. McGinn goes back into a double pivot. Looks like he's played there in his whole career. Cash is out. No bother. Because Ashley Young stepped straight in there. No bother. Even yesterday at half-time, when Kamara went off and Chambers came on, this is one of the things that I'm going to talk about. I want to talk about especially is the fact that Emery gets a lot of praise for the way he sets up tactically, the way he's working with the side. But even yesterday against Chelsea, at half-time, we go to a 5 at the back. Now, we've not played 5 at the back with fundamental centre-backs, with 3 centre-backs on a pitch all season under Emery in that role. Yeah, the centre-backs have come on and mopped up and whatever, but we literally went to a 5 at the back at half-time against Chelsea, and tactically, he changed it. And it's mental how brave he is, and how if he thinks he needs to do something, he does it. He doesn't wait. He doesn't dilly-dally about thinking, oh, if we get into the first 10 minutes of this, we'll see how we go. No, he spots something, boom, he changes it. And that was brilliant, man.
I totally agree. You know what? I don't even think it's been brave. I think what it is, it just shows that he in his head, that mathematical genius brain of his, he's almost pre-thought of every possible thing that could happen in the game. And this is what he's doing in them mega long meetings he has. That I'm sure pre-Chelsea, he thought, if we're under the cosh and this isn't going right, then we're going to do this. We're going to write this. And at half-time, when it was obvious that Kamara couldn't carry on, hopefully it's just took off precautionary because he was on a booking and he had that little knock as well, and he's just come back from injury, so hopefully it's just precautionary. But when he brought him off and he turned around to Chambers and said, right, you're going in there now, I don't even think it was a really long conversation explaining because he would have covered this in one of them meetings. He'd have gone, right, lads, you know what we talked about the other day? If this has happened now, this is what's happened. But don't worry, everything's fine. keep calm. This is what we planned for. This is what I told you the other day. If this happens, we're going to do this. Callum's going to come in. Ashley's just going to tuck in with a back five. He's got freedom to get forward if he wants. So don't panic. So it gets over. The players come out as calm as anything. They're not thinking, oh shit. In the past you'd have gone, oh shit, Kamara's gone off. What we're going to do, lads? One of our best players has gone off the pitch. Oh, we're going to be backs against the wall now. Oh, they're going to come at us now. None of that. Yeah, we had a bit of a 5 minutes when they had a real go, but then we calmed it down. We was like, right, this is fine. We know what we're doing. Callum's doing really well. Ashley can do that role piece of this. And then we went forward and we started, if anything, when we got the second, we dominated the game. Mm-hmm. But it's an elite level coach. This is what unfortunately, we're not used to it. We haven't had an elite level coach, possibly of this level, arguably ever.
I don't think
I'm brutally honest.
I don't think we have. And I think he's a breath of fresh air. And I think we over the years, we've always thought we need this player, we need this player, we need to spend this much on this player. We ain't never had the manager. And that's no disrespect to Dino or whoever we've had. But this guy is the real deal, man. He is the real deal. So let's have a look at some of the stats then from the game. So we had 31% possession. They had 27 shots, 8 on target. We had 5, 2 on target and scored 2 goals. We had 281 passes, 75% passing accuracy. They had 594 and 90% passing accuracy. This was the XG by the minute. So Chelsea are above, we're at the bottom. And Aston Villa's danger creation was pretty much centrally, really. I guess that backs up where the goal came from, where McGinn's goal came from, where Ramsey was doing those progressive carries sort of straight down the middle of them. And that was where Chelsea's danger creation was coming from as well. Snapshots outside the box, loads of shots peppering us. This was the shot map from the game as well. And this was Aston Villa's average position. So you can see we had to sit a little bit deeper. You can see Dougie and Kamara, Buendia, McGinn, Ramsey, either side of the double pivot. Young offering a little bit more width than Moreno on the left-hand side, and Watkins nice and central. This was Chelsea's passing network. So it's pretty much as you'd expect, really. Just above the halfway line, trying to dominate possession as they would at home. And this was Villa's, so it's not as good as what it normally is, but you can obviously see we was under pressure at times. And we were trying to just work into spaces with Luiz, Moreno, Ramsey, Buendia, McGinn, and trying to get the ball into Watkins as well. So
I think, just before you go on, I think both of them passing networks show, I do think they're the best graphics to explain the game as well. Like I said, you look at how many chances and that Chelsea created. I think what he's done, Emery, he's tapped into that they are a world-class squad mismanaged, and they're just not firing. So he had to find a way of bypassing it, and he knew they weren't going to be flat fluid. And I think that just shows it. Chelsea did have a lot of the ball. They did create a lot of chances, but we managed to find a way to win the game, and it's important. You can't always have more possession. You can't always have more passes. There's going to be times when you're under the cosh, especially away from home, especially against.
Yeah, but you know what we're doing though, Justin. Like we're saying, and we are far from the finished article under Unai Emery.
Absolutely.
He's had one transfer window, and he's bought in a left back and a striker. So what he's working with so far is absolutely fantastic. So, I'm not going to sit on here and say we are literally the finished article and that's it. So there is more to come. But what he is doing is showing us how we're about to set up even this season, next season, and it's finding a way to win. Even when you're the underdogs, when you're under pressure, find a way to win. And that's what we're starting to do. There's games where Chelsea boss possession, they had far more shots than us, But what was that scoreline at the end? 2-0
It's all
to
that
Villa.
matters.
And we created more chances than just the 2 goals that we scored as well. So I think
Yeah.
that's an
Well,
important
Ollie
thing
missed
to
that good chance,
mention.
didn't he, just before he scored?
Yeah. And the chances that we are missing, some of them are good chances as well. The Watkins one he missed. Ramsey had one where he could have probably should have squared it.
McGinn at the bar.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to talk about the fan base a little bit because, dare I say, I've started to see a little shift. And I'm starting to see a lot of comments along the lines of, I'm 51 years of age and I'm 41, I've never. And they're all saying the similar thing, that they've got a feeling that something is bubbling and brewing. And, as optimistic fans as what we are on this channel, we are literally really optimistic and we think we're going to win every game. So, I feel like we do get behind stuff more and go full tilt like we have under Emery. But I do feel like that there's a bit of a shift. And I think this is important because it's all about replicating the away fans at home and having that amazing atmosphere at Villa Park. And I do generally believe that what happens on the pitch and the vibe around the club and the direction that we're trying to go in will move and make the atmosphere better, especially at Villa Park as well. I was watching Newcastle today. I mean, their atmosphere was absolutely amazing against Man United. Yeah, because they knew if they won, they beat Man United, they're going to the top 4. But that whole vibe of what they've created, and I think we're slowly starting to get there, and that's a massive piece of the jigsaw because Emery always speaks about, after every game, what's the first thing he mentions? The fans. He makes a massive point of mentioning the fans, and he knows that he has to get them completely on board, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's done that from day one now, hasn't he? Since he walked in the door, he's consistently included the fans in every single time he talks to the press, whether it's the club press or whether it's the national press, Sky, whatever. It's, like you say, after every single game, you thank the fans. The fans are really important. The fans have got to buy into it. The fans have got to, I want to impress the fans. And ultimately, we are there as a paying customer, if you like, of the club. But we are the most important aspect of any football club, the fans. Regardless of whether you go or not, our lives are Villa. We live, breathe, and eat it. We want to see success. And for a new manager to come in and embrace it from minute one, it's been fantastic. Dean Smith did it. Yes, we know that, but we know the connection that he had with Villa. He didn't. He almost had it before he signed the dotted line because of who he was. Emery's come in from abroad, having one half decent spell in England before, and his engagement with us, he's been second to none. And we're in it. We're in for the ride. We're in for the long haul. We know what's happening. We know we can see with our eyes that the revolution that's happening at Villa, and it's happened quicker than I thought it would. It's better, far, far better than I could have ever hoped for when he walked through the door. If we'd have finished 12th, 13th this season, I'd have gone, okay, he steadied the ship. Next season now is when he really starts his work, but none of that at all. He's come in and he's gone, this is what we're doing, and this is how we're going to do it. And he's gone about it. It looks effortless, to be honest. It looks effortless when we're watching it from the stands, when we're watching it, but the amount of work that's gone into this, what's led up to this moment in his career to get him to the point he is, to build a successful team, can't be underestimated. And everything he's done in his career to get him to this point, it makes him the man he is. And we have got to be so, so grateful that A, the owners chose him, and B, because he could have said no. We weren't the most flamboyant of clubs to come at the time, but he just fancied it, didn't he? Something that pulled him into Villa. He could
Yeah.
see the potential, and hopefully we're going to get there with him.
And I did have a bit of a passionate speech on the match preview, mentioning the word that begins with E. And I know a lot of people shied away from it, but I stuck my chest out and I said, no, we are going for it. We were 4 points behind Liverpool. We are now 1 point behind Liverpool. I spoke about us being in the conversation. We are now not in the conversation. We are in the battle. And it's now time to battle and try and get into this European spot. I think it's important that we take one game at a time. The next game we've got is Leicester away. But we have, on our current form, a fantastic opportunity to do it this season. When Dino came in, we sort of went up a year too early, when we were like languishing mid-table and no one expected it, and we did it. Now, Emery's come in, languishing in bottom of the Premier League. No one expected it. We've got that same vibe, and it's now about the fan base backing this now and everybody giving it a real good go. Martinez, after the game, spoke about it. He said the words Europe. I know Emery has been asked a question and he said yes, maybe. So why not? Why
I think
not?
his words were, we've got a new objective, so let's go for it. So, I've done a little bit of research today. I said it on the group chat. Top 7 should be Europe this season with the winning stuff. So the last 5 seasons, it took 54 points, 57, 59, 62 and 56. So on average, if you take that as an average, 58 points. So we need 17 points to get Europe. We're going at an average of 1.93 in the last 15 games since Emery come up. So we're going to need 1.7 points per game to get Europe. No reason whatsoever why that shouldn't happen. No. And just as a quick aside, this is going to be tomorrow. Everyone's going to know this, but I've just had news that Graham Potter's just been fired.
Really?
Yeah. Just as I'm just about to say that, just come up on my phone. So this is the Chelsea debrief. So might as well. So we've done for Potter. He's gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Potter's gone then. That is mad.
So we've and I tell you what, the Chelsea fans. I spoke to some Chelsea fans. I did a Chelsea podcast, and they would snatch the hands off for Unai Emery. They really would, but they can't have him because he's ass.
But that's mad then. So as we've recorded this, Potter's
breaking
gone.
News.
But our fixtures.
But Europe is on, yeah. I'm saying that Europe is definitely
fixtures are difficult, but a little bit like most of the teams down the bottom of the Premier League, they're all playing each other and they're all not beating each other. There's a lot of draws, and the draws don't help. Now, the good thing I think for Villa is we've got to play a lot of the teams around us, and if you can win those games, you jump them. So we've done the objective, and I know we've all been fuming that we was 11th for felt like however many games, felt like about 10 games. But what that's done is, I think Brentford were about 12 points above us at one point. And now we've literally clawed them all in. We've gone above Fulham. So by playing each other now, we've still got to play Fulham, still got to play Brentford, Brighton, Liverpool, Spurs, United. If we do well now, if we carry on our form like you're saying, it's definitely on. And I just think what a position that we're in, that we can have a go.
Yeah, we've got 10 games left, and Emery's mentality is that, take game by game. I totally understand that, and so they should. You can't play 3 games ahead of yourself. But taking each game on its merits, we are now a match for any team in this division. And in the form we're in, with the players currently playing as they are, we've got no fear against anybody. I do not fear anybody now. I don't. And I'm not naive enough to think we can't win. We're not going to lose.
I mean, okay.
Lose.
Right. Let's just briefly break down these fixtures who we've got. So
Leicester,
the tough games, you'd say, on paper, United. I mean, I've watched
I've
them
got them all
today.
here. So you got Leicester away, Forest at home, Newcastle at home, Brentford away, Fulham at home, United away, Wolves away, Spurs at home, Liverpool away, and Brighton at home. So we have got, like you say, it's a few teams down the bottom. You got Leicester, Forest, Wolves, so three teams below us. Then we play teams around us, which I want to play teams around us because, like you've
that's
just
what we
said,
need to do, because you don't have to worry about if you win, then they do this and then they do. You beat the teams around you.
You put a gap between them.
Exactly.
We Brentford, tough game away. Fair enough. I don't fear going to Brentford. If we play like we do, we've got a great chance of beating them. Last game of the season, Brighton at home. How important could that game be? It could be a European decider. Whoever wins it goes into Europe. So you imagine Villa Park absolutely rocking for that game. That is going to be an epic game if there's something on that game.
You know what, right? This is what us as fans we want. We
embrace it.
We want to be like challenging for stuff in the Premier League. We don't want to just be saying stuff like, "Oh well, we'll give it a good go," but like next season we want to try and do it. No, we want to do it now. We want to try and do it now. We've got the opportunity to do it now. So I don't care whether it's Europa Conference, Europa League, or whatever. It's Europe, and what getting in Europe can do is it can attract the players. Every player wants to play in Europe.
Yeah,
every player.
I understand that the misgivings of getting into Europe, because I've said them on this pod. I've said that the worry about getting into Europe too early with a squad that's not ready for it and not capable of going on all fronts, because we want to be competitive in both the cup competitions that we spoke about. In this, it's about time we had good runs in cup competitions. So we want to try and win a cup. A domestic cup is 100% a possibility for us now in the position we are in. And a European competition brings a lot more games, so it would mean a rethink, but it doesn't mean it's not possible to put a squad together. I think what it would mean is that the players that we probably currently think we would get rid of in the summer, and I'm thinking along the lines of like Traore and players like that, Callum Chambers, that possibly could be, they're not going to. Those are the type of players that all of a sudden, okay, we have got to add quality at the top end, but now we've got to retain players like that because we're going to need a depth of squad. So it doesn't mean necessarily you've got to go out and buy another 10 players. All it means is potential of players that we might have got rid of had we not been in Europe that we will just retain to create a good squad depth. And let's not forget, we've got Aaron Ramsey coming back. We've got Cameron Archer coming back. We've got, we've got players that we've got Irabunam's coming back. We've got players like that who will add depth to our squad on top of that. So, if it's there, if we can get it, let's go and grab it with two hands. It might not happen. It still might not happen.
Exactly.
But the fact we're even talking about it,
if it doesn't, then
who cares?
That's no bad thing. That's no bad thing.
Next year.
Because what do you say? Oh, we missed out on Europe by X amount of points. Well, we clearly understand why. We know whose fault it was, right?
I'd much rather be coming at it with a late run and missing out because your expectations aren't there than someone like Fulham, who have been basically in the top 7 or 8 all season and could end up finishing 11th and totally blowing it. I'd much rather do that than fall away. I'd much rather come late. Look at Leicester when they were bottom of the league. Their late run to save them ignited, all right, it's never going to happen again, you wouldn't think. But that late run and that form towards the end of the season, they ignited their title charge the season after that. The momentum was such a feel-good factor around the club. I'm not suggesting we're going to win the league next season, but what I'm saying is that momentum that we're building now from middle of the season through to the end, with a European qualification, with, like you say, the ability to attract an even better quality of player, you've got Diego Carlos coming back as well.
Thing is as well, no team in this league now will want to play Aston Villa
No,
because
not an easy touch
we
anymore.
score in every game, right?
Yeah,
It's a nightmare tactically, so we know, when we, as fans, you think, oh, God, that's going to be a tough game. We've got this team coming up, we've got that team. That's how the opposition teams are now thinking. So
yeah.
that again is a testament to how well we've done and how well we're doing. So I think we do need to praise us. We do need to praise what we're doing because we are playing well. The manager's fantastic. We're in a great position, and I'm absolutely loving it. So there we go.
Long may it continue.
So again, we've got a busy sort of couple of days because we've got Leicester on Tuesday. So you'll have a match preview will be out tomorrow. You'll have a predicted lineup will be out on the day of the game, which will be Tuesday. So you've got that coming up. And a little plug. I'll do a little plug, right? I'm working hard on this channel, basically, guys. So if you've got this far into this video, do me a favor and subscribe to this channel. So it's going to be in the link to the description. And what we're basically doing is we're talking about the relegation battle. We're talking about everything, really. There's no just top six bias. So we do something called the warm up. So we preview the games that weekend in the Premier League. So we normally pick 5 games. We do something called a full time, where we look back at the weekend's action and then we talk about loads of different topics. So I'm going big on the relegation battle. So we've done like a tier list for which manager you'd want in the Premier League. Little bit of a baity one for Wolves there. Just predicting loads of different stuff. We're doing watch-alongs as well. So I'll put the link of it in the description. If you can subscribe, it'll just help me out massively. So yeah, if you can do that. But yeah, I think that'll be it for the debrief. Absolutely loving it. And yeah, do you want to add anything, Justin? Or
No, over the moon. Bring on Leicester on Tuesday. Let's go smash them. We
up
owe
the
them one.
Villa. Right.
Up the
See you
Villa.
later, everyone.